So I'm off to see my dad today, which is going to be very, very intriguing. I know so much about my mum's side, but sadly for me, my dad's side, my grandparents died, and I didn't really get a chance to really speak to them and get an understanding of our family history as Murses. So today is probably the first time that I can remember me and my dad sitting down talking about the family with no one else around. My mum's not there. We really struggle to have these kind of conversations. So this is a real step for me and my dad. Let's go see the old man.
Oh, yeah.
Yes, Dad.
How you doing?
You okay?
Nice to see you.
So can you tell me more about your side? I know that Grandad Eddie was Latvian.
Yeah.
Can you tell me more about that?
Well, he came over here when he was a teenager. He never really spoke about his past until I asked him when he was a lot older. And in 2002, I took Dad back for the first time in nearly 50 years.
What's this?
It's a video I took. That's Riga, the capital. It's where he's from. We wanted to go on this journey to try and find out about his life there.
Look at him, he looks totally lost. Yeah, I am. I am lost.
Oh, it's just so magical to hear his voice.
He told me more in those 3 days in Latvia than he did at any other time. And I went and got this.
What is this? Edward Yanko. Oh, is this his birth certificate?
Yeah, that's an English translation of it.
I was going to say, look at that one. Oh, wow. So, Grandad was born on the 28th of January in 1932.
Yeah.
Edward. So it's Edward, not Eddie then?
That's right, yeah,
Edward. Edward Yankovsky.
Yankovskis.
Yankovskis.
Yep.
Edward
If
Yankovskis.
you notice the mother's name,
Veronica.
Yankovska.
Yankovs. What?
That's the female, Yankovska. And Yankovskis, that's the male of the surname.
So he's not a Murs?
No,
Hang on a minute, so where does the Murs come from then?
my granddad.
Why is he not on here?
They weren't married.
So who's the great Grandad Murs then?
This is your great-grandfather.
This is my great grandfather. What? Hang on. So who's this lady here?
That's his wife, Katrina.
Oh my God, she's holding him up on a
the
still.
shoulders, yeah.
And he's playing the guitar.
He's playing the guitar, yeah.
No way. It's a great photo.
He used to sing songs up on there in the circus.
Wow. So he was a circus performer.
Yeah, they were double act in the circus.
I mean, I've done some amazing shows in my career, but that, I mean, imagine if I turned up at the O2 like that. Do you think Amelia will get on, have you on her shoulders?
Probably strong enough. I have here a marriage certificate of your great-granddad, Edward Murs, and Katrina, his wife.
Oh, wow.
There's a translation.
Edward Albert Murs. Albert Murs, love that. And he was born on the 31st of October 1890 in Riga. Katrin Berzins was his wife. Place of work was the Riga Salamonska Circus.
That's right, yeah.
Wow. They got married in the 5th of December 1929. Grandad Eddie was born in 1932. So he had an affair with Veronica.
I guess so, yeah.
Did Katrin know that?
Eventually she must have done, yeah, because my dad went to live with my granddad.
Wow, man, that's crazy.
during the Second World War because it was so bad. Veronica, your great-grandma, decided that it would be good for my dad to get out of Riga. So she handed my dad over to his dad across a bridge when he was 12 to take him away somewhere safe.
Wow.
And my dad said to me, she never turned round or waved, she just walked away. And he never saw her again.
It's heartbreaking, actually.
He told me in Latvia that he didn't think his mum loved him anymore for giving him away.
And he never spoke to her ever after that, never had reached out, nothing?
In the 1960s and early 70s, Veronica managed to contact my dad through letters, and my dad chose to ignore them. He told himself that his mum didn't want him anymore, and I suppose that was a way of dealing with it. And he was very remorseful that he never replied to her. And we don't know what happened to her in later life.
Really sad that your dad felt like that.
I would love to find out what happened to Veronica and where she's buried.
I really, really hope that I can uncover the mystery of Veronica, my great-grandmother, as well as finding out more about Edward Albert Murs. And I think I obviously have to go to Latvia. That's where I've got to start, right?
That's right, Riga in Latvia.
Olly has found out that his great-grandfather, Edwards Albert Murs, was a circus performer who was in a double act with his wife, Katrina. He's also discovered that Edwards had an affair with his great-grandmother, who was called Veronica Jankowska. The family know very little about her, except that she last saw her son, Olly's granddad, Eddie, when he was just 12 years old. Olly is travelling to Latvia's capital city, Riga.
Look at it, it looks amazing. Why have I never not come here before? It's a long way from home. Yeah, this is definitely not Essex now. I'm here in Latvia, in Riga.
He's starting by trying to trace the circus where his great-grandfather Edwards and his wife Katrina performed.
Okay, so I left Essex with this amazing photo of my great-granddad Edward and Katrina. They were circus performers here in Riga. They were in the Sala Monska Circus. A bit nervous to see what I find. Riga Circus. Ah, it is still a functional circus. I've got to go and find it. I've got to go and have a look at it, surely. Right, let's go. I was expecting the circus to be in a field somewhere with a massive tent, but it's here. Oh, here it is, Circus. Wow. Oh my God, I'm really nervous. Ah, this is gonna be mental. Wow. This is not what I expected at all. It's insane. This could actually be where my great-granddad and his wife stood and did that performance. Wow. Hello? Hello, can you hear me?
Olly's meeting the circus's archivist, Elvira Ovota.
Hello, welcome.
Wow, it's a pleasure. Olly, lovely to meet you.
Elvira, nice to meet you.
Elvira, this place is insane.
Yeah.
And obviously I'm trying to find out if my great-granddad, Edward Albert Murs, performed here.
Yes, we have some evidence that he did with his
did?
wife together, yes.
Wow.
We have some things that I could show you about them.
Oh, please, yeah.
Okay,
I'd
let's
love
go
to see
to
them.
see.
Thank you.
So here is a little example from Riga newspaper about their show.
That's incredible.
This discipline usually is called perch act, and this performance is quite unique because the holding person is a woman.
Wow.
So he's hanging by his teeth while playing guitar.
He's holding himself up by his mouth.
Yes. Yes.
What?
And at the same time, his wife, Katrina, is holding him on her shoulders and also playing a little accordion and spinning at the same time. Yes.
I mean,
something
I'm a
unexpected.
performer myself. That is next level. I don't know if I've got that in my locker.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
And this was in the newspaper.
Yes. And there was also a description about the show. So I would say that their performance was one of the highlights because they were the only ones who had the picture. And their performance was called Murmure.
Murmure.
Murmure. Yes.
Oh, wow, okay.
And they performed in 1920s and 1930s.
Why Murmure?
Local artists were not that popular. The audience was interested in something more exotic. So that's why most of the artists' names are more French.
They're sort of still using the
Yeah,
name
they
Murs.
keep the root of the word. Yeah.
Yeah, but we're going to mix it up a little bit and make it more
Yeah.
flamboyant. Amazing.
I have this postcard, which usually was used as a memorabilia.
And this is them.
Yes.
This is mad. You look so cool. And yeah, she looks strong.
Yeah.
That for me is like merchandise that would be handed out. And that's something that I do a lot when I do tours or...
Yeah.
There's me thinking I was the only Murs that did all that. So how often would they be doing a performance?
So here, performances happened every day, but they could perform here for only 1 month a year.
So just 1 month of shows and they would move to
yeah.
a different city or a different place?
Usually, yes.
Wow.
That is a newspaper clipping from Finland.
Finland?
Yes, the Circus Maxim program.
Oh, wait there a minute. Just trying to find Murs.
So I have also a translation of this.
Okay. Circus Maxim is a mix of the best talent from the mainland, just to mention a few attractions from the artist program. The original Strength Gladiators, Mamino with their funny trained dogs, Mademoiselle Verona. Oh, a unique music achievement in balance. Is that them, the Morello?
Yes.
Oh, what's the Morello? That's different.
Yes. So they changed the names sometimes when they performed in a different place.
I see that is in 1931, my great-granddad Edward had an affair with a woman called Veronica, and my granddad Eddie was born in 1932. And it's like, was she on this? I mean, was she on the circus with them? I don't know, because, I mean, even looking on this, it says Mademoiselle Verona. Was she around? Like, how did he meet her?
So that is something that I don't know how to help you with, but you can go to the State Historical Archives and maybe they can help.
I appreciate it and thank you so much for all this information. It's great. Now I need to go and rethink my stage name.
Maybe a little bit more French.
A bit more French. Murmure. Love it. To be here where my great-granddad Edward used to perform feels amazing. Feels like we've connected in a way. As a performer, I'm super proud of him. And then on the flip side to it, he wasn't the most loyal husband, it seemed. So that, for me, is a little bit of a hard one to get my head around, because that's not the kind of husband that I want to be. And I'm starting to think whether Veronica was on the road in part of this act. There's still more to this story, and where it goes, I don't know, but that's the next step. See if I can still do a bit of this. Ta-da!
To see how his great-grandparents Olly Murs and Veronica Jankowska's lives may have crossed, Olly has come to the Latvian State Historical Archives to meet head archivist Rita Bogdanova.
Hi, Rita.
Hello.
Lovely to meet you. So, the story that I know so far is that my great-granddad Edward had an affair with a woman called Veronica, which was my granddad Eddie's mum. So I'd love to know if you've found anything about this mystery woman, really, who we have no information about.
Yeah, okay, we have some information, and I will show you the first file, which is the birth registration entry for your great-grandmother, Veronica. Here is her name in Russian. Can you read it?
No. So this is in Russian?
Yeah, because by that time when Veronica was born, Latvia was part of the Russian Empire.
And did you have that in translating in English?
Yeah.
So Veronica was born on the 17th of August 1909.
Right.
She was daughter to Joseph and Tekla.
Right. Your great-great-grandparents.
My great-great-grandparents, wow. And it was in Divinch?
Dvinsk.
Where is Divinsk?
Dvinsk is the old name that was renamed to Daugavpils. It's situated in the east of Latvia.
So doing the math, my great-granddad Edward was born in 1890. So he's a good 20 years older than Veronica. So I'm really intrigued how they met and found each other at some point.
Okay, I will show you. The archives has a very large collection of passports. We are lucky to have among them the passport of your great-grandmother, Veronica.
No way. Oh, wow. And there she is. That's my great-grandma. It's amazing to see a photo. That's just insane.
This passport was issued on April 25, 1931. By that time, she lived in Riga.
Oh, right. So she was 21 and living in Riga.
And if we open this...
OK, so what am I looking at here?
So you can see here is...
Oh, it's in English. So work permit for Veronica, permit to work for the Circus Maxim in different Finnish regions, starting from the 27th of April 1931. So she was in the circus as well?
Yeah.
Ah, that makes sense now. So she went to Finland.
Right.
And I know that my great-granddad Edward was in Finland at one point. So they must have met in the circus. Is that correct?
So... Here is the passport of your great-grandfather, Edward, and his wife, Katrina.
Oh, my God. No way. I mean, this is phenomenal. Wow, there's my great-granddad, Edward, Katrina, and, of course, now the missing piece, Veronica.
I will show you. Look at this.
OK.
It's a working permit for Veronica, and this is working permit for Edward and Catherine.
That's the same. So they would have been in Finland at the same time?
Right.
OK. Interesting.
Here is an article in a Finnish newspaper about Circus. So please look at
In 1931. So I've seen this before, and I did notice that there was a Mademoiselle Verona.
Right.
Would that be her?
Yeah, definitely.
Wow. Mademoiselle Verona. The daredevil trapeze artist.
Right.
My great-grandma was a trapeze artist.
Trapeze artist.
That's amazing.
Here is another article from the Finnish newspaper, dated August 1931.
Wow. In previous years, Circus Maxim has been the best of the circuses touring our country, and this year it has got even better. We cannot help but mention Miss Verona, the trapeze artist, because she truly deserves this title. Her act, in which she performs gymnastics on a trapeze high up close to the roof of the tent, is a sight for sore eyes. So she was the main attraction. Wow, amazing. So this article was in the 14th of August 1931. We know that my granddad Eddie was born in January 1932.
Right.
So he was conceived during this period, right?
Yeah, it's right. And to the time when this article was written, when she performed trapeze, she was 4 months pregnant with your grandfather.
And she's up doing the trapeze act.
Right.
Wow, that is that is incredible. So my granddad Eddie was up there in the sky, not knowing what was going on, flying around. What a woman. What an incredible woman.
Olly can now take his paternal family tree back 4 generations. He's discovered that his great-great-grandparents were called Tekla Jankowska and Josef Jankowskis, who lived more than 100 miles from Riga. But what happened to their daughter, his great-grandmother Veronica, after she returned to Riga from the circus in Finland, is still a mystery. So Olly's meeting historian Iman Sayaralis, who's taking him to the apartment Veronica moved into in 1932, whilst heavily pregnant with his grandfather Eddie.
So here we are.
And this is
the flat.
No way. This is where my great-grandma Veronica lived.
Exactly.
Iman, it feels amazing to be here. It really does. Did Veronica have my granddad here?
We know that Eddie was born in Riga First City Hospital. It's not far from here. So definitely this flat was the first home for the newborn Eddie.
So this is where it began for him. This is
Exactly.
the first home.
Exactly.
And Veronica is only 22. It's her first baby, and she comes back here on her own.
So
Wow, that must have been so scary.
the situation must have been really, really hard, financially and also emotionally.
Yeah. And how long did they stay here for?
Not very long. They moved out in April 1932. And we have a document, and it's an employment questionnaire for unemployed persons to get some help from the state. And you can see here the surname.
Jankowskis, yeah.
But here we have another name.
Tekla. Ah, that's her mum.
Yes, Veronica's mother. And to make it more easier, we have a translation.
So Tekla has gone to the state to ask for
Exactly.
money to help.
Yes.
Okay.
So.
And then here, family consists of
Yes.
obviously her husband.
Yes.
And then Edward, my granddad,
Yes.
his grandson. So he went to live with his grandparents.
Without Veronica.
Without Veronica.
And it is in Daugavpils.
Ah, right, okay, that's where she grew up, yeah.
Yes.
The 13th of June, 1932, so
Yeah.
she had my granddad Eddie, probably for a few months, has then given him to
Seems so.
her parents. Obviously, she was a young mum and she needed help.
Yeah.
Do we know where Veronica went?
So we have a photograph from a newspaper from April 1932.
Wow.
The same year when Eddie was born.
She looks fantastic, I mean...
Isn't it? Yeah. And it says, Miss Veronia, gymnast on trapeze in the new circus program.
So she went back out working again on the circus.
Just a couple of months after Eddie's birth.
I mean, it's just mind-blowing. There she is on stage straight away, on the trapeze.
The decision for her to give her baby away and to keep working in a circus, it must have been a hard decision.
She needed to get back to work and she needed the money. I know that my granddad came back to Riga at some point and he has said that he lived with his mum. So is that true?
So we have a house book, and this is from the year 1939, so 7 years after Eddie's birth. Each apartment building in Riga had this kind of book at the time, and it records all inhabitants of every single apartment.
Okay, so this is the 21st of
September.
Veronica Yankovsky's
And below.
and Edward. So that's Grandad Eddie.
Yeah.
So she has her son now,
Yes.
which is lovely.
But September 1939, the Second World War begins. And the war, of course, changes everything for Latvia and also for your family.
Can you give me that information or have I...
You have to find it out.
Okay, I will do. Detective Murs is here.
By the start of the Second World War, Latvia had been an independent country for nearly 20 years. But in June 1940, the Soviet Union, which included Russia, moved in, quickly occupying the country, led by dictator Joseph Stalin. At the time, Olly's great-grandfather Edwards, his wife Katrina, and his great-grandmother Veronica and Grandad Eddie all lived in Riga. To find out what happened to them, Olly has come to the Museum of the Occupation of Latvia, where he's meeting historian Peteris Kalniņš.
Hi, Petrus. I'm at this point in my family's history that the Second World War begins. What does that mean for my family?
So the Soviets take over the country, and then everything changes. The currency was replaced by worthless Soviet money. Bank accounts are confiscated, large private land holdings are confiscated. But the real shock happens almost a year after the occupation.
In June 1941, in one night, over 15,000 people in Latvia were rounded up and deported in cattle cars to labor camps in Siberia. Then, just over a week later, Nazi Germany invaded Soviet-occupied Latvia and soon took control of the country. During the Nazi occupation, more than 70,000 Latvian Jews and 20,000 Jews deported from other countries were murdered there.
It's just awful, isn't it?
Absolutely.
Such a horrendous time. What happened to my family?
Like most of the population, they tried to survive. And I think the next document shows sort of attempt to establish some kind of a domestic life.
Oh, wow. So Veronica gets married?
Yes. She marries a fellow named Valdemars Aiche.
In 1942?
Yes.
What happens after that?
Well, the next document, unfortunately, shows that the marriage doesn't last.
Oh my God, what happened? Okay, so divorce suit against Veronica Aiche. On December 17th, 1943, the court decided to dissolve the marriage that Valdemars Vladimirs Aiche has concluded with Veronica Yankovsky's. So it didn't last long. It was only a year.
Correct.
Who got the husband's surname upon the conclusion of marriage. So she kept the name, which is interesting.
It could mean a lot of different things. One possibility is that Aiche, which is a common Latvian name, is actually a German name by its background.
So she may have been thinking having that surname will help long-term if the country continues to be occupied by Germany.
Possibly.
Bless Veronica, she's been through a real journey. What happens next?
What happens next is the war comes back to Latvia.
By mid-1944, Nazi Germany had lost significant ground to Soviet forces. The Red Army was once more approaching Riga, where Olly's family were still living.
People really did fear a new Soviet occupation. Part of it was whipped up very, very aggressively by Nazi propaganda. But even if they disbelieved it, many didn't want to be in a Soviet-occupied country.
Yeah.
The Germans themselves are organizing a big evacuation of the civilian population westwards to Germany on ships.
If you're in Latvia at that point, you've got decisions to make, haven't you?
Very much. Your family then has to make a decision whether to stay in Latvia to try to let the front ride over them and be in a Soviet-occupied Latvia again, or to go west as the German army evacuates.
Yeah. So I know that obviously my granddad left Latvia during the Second World War with his dad.
Correct. And his wife, Katerina. And the next document actually shows one step in that direction. It's a house registry book.
I can see Edward Jankowski here, which is my granddad. And this was in 1944.
Correct.
So I know that my granddad is 12 at this point. Okay, so this is the interesting bit, isn't it? Because when and where he went after leaving this property, and it says Germany on the 5th of September 1944. So that would have been a decision made by his parents, by Veronica, and obviously his dad, Edward.
Correct. Thousands of people were being forced to make that kind of a decision for safety.
I still can't understand why Veronica didn't go with them.
There could have been 100 reasons that they separated. It could have been possible that she applied for evacuation, was turned down.
We'll never know. And it must have been really difficult for her to have done that. And I think it was the best decision for him. And the saddest thing of this story is that my granddad had such anger towards her of how he felt he was sort of abandoned and left.
Yeah.
The Second World War really did have a massive effect on my family.
Enormous.
Today for me was a real eye-opener. I think my great-grandmother, Veronica, made a really bold decision at that bridge that day to say goodbye to her son, knowing that he might come home, but he might not. And sadly, my granddad never got to see his mum again. He had a lot of trauma in his life from a very, very early age, and that stuck with him to the day he died. He was very subdued, he was quiet. It's made me understand why he was the way he was. I just wish that he could have understood her decisions. And I really wish I could go back 20, 30 years and say to him, look, Grandad, reach out, call your mum. I'm now intrigued to see what happened in Germany and then how my granddad got to the UK.
To find out about his family's journey to Germany, Olly's meeting Mariana Alutsiama from the Latvians Abroad Museum.
Mariana, lovely to meet you.
Yes, nice to meet you too.
I'm at a real pivotal moment in my family's life. My great-granddad Edward and Katrina decided to take my granddad on a boat to Germany.
Well, thousands of Latvian civilians left Latvia at that time as refugees, and many of them left from here in Riga. So this is an example of one of the boats that was leaving the port at that time.
Wow. So it was very chaotic, lots of people there, busy.
I actually have more documents to show you on the boat just behind us. Would you like to come with me to the boat?
I will, yes.
Okay, great.
Wow, let's do it. So where did my great-granddad Edward and Katrina and, of course, my granddad Eddie end up?
So this is a registration card for a refugee camp from Neustadt in Germany, where your grandfather Eddie was living together with his father, your great-grandfather Edward, and his wife Katrin. By the time the war ends in 1945.
Wow.
So this is for Edward Murs, but if you have a look at his birth date.
The 28th of the 1st, 1932. This was my granddad's.
Yeah, but here you'll notice his surname has also changed.
Of course, do you know, I didn't even, I'm so oblivious. My granddad is finally using the name Murs. That's so interesting. Because obviously he was Jankowski's, his mum's surname for so long. And Now that he's with his dad, maybe he felt it was time for him to change his name and be a Murs. And that is why now I am.
Mm-hmm. And then I wanted to show you this. That's your granddad.
That's my granddad
Eddie.
Look at him posing.
He's about 15 here. It's 1947, and he's living in this refugee camp.
He's obviously in deep thought. Is he thinking of his mum? Is he thinking of, you know, is this going to change? Am I going to be able to go home? Do we know how long they were in that refugee camp for?
The camps themselves were only places where they had refuge for a short amount of time, and they had to think about where they could go next. And Latvia at the time was still occupied by the Soviet Union, and often Latvians were scared to go back. And as you know, your family ended up in the UK, and I'd just like you to have a look at this. This is your great-granddad, Edwards.
Look at my great-granddad. Amazing. He looks so different to the photos that I'd seen before. Now we're in 1948, so he would have been 58 there. 58. So what is this?
So it's an ID card that he would have had in the refugee camps. And this stamp in the middle shows you the date and where he went, which is...
Harwich.
Harwich.
Harwich. Wow, that's up the road from us in Essex. That's in Essex, isn't it? Harwich.
Yeah.
They came to the UK in the 10th of May, 1948.
That's right.
At Harwich.
So thousands of Latvians ended up going to the UK to help with labour shortages. And some of them stayed, like your family, and made happy lives there.
Yeah. They ended up in the UK and never left Essex. Amazing. It was so incredible to see the journey that my family went on. Obviously, it was a tough journey, but along that process, my granddad took the Murs name, and that was a really cool thing to see. But what happened to my great-grandma, Veronica, when she was here on her own? What did she do? For me, she's still the mystery of this story, and I still want to find them answers.
To uncover what happened to his great-grandmother Veronica after she stayed in Latvia, Olly's heading to the Latvian State Archives. It holds thousands of once top-secret files linked to the Soviet occupation of the country, which lasted until 1991. As part of the Soviet Union, Latvia was strictly controlled, with restricted contact with the West. It was also closely policed by a security and intelligence agency, later known as the KGB. Olly's meeting historian Dina Blaere.
Dana, it's lovely to meet you. I'm at the mysterious part of my story. My great-grandmother, Veronica, stayed here in Latvia, and I just want to know what happened next.
This is criminal file, and this is in Russian. And here is Eiche Veronica. So Veronica was arrested on this.
Arrested?
Arrested, yes, on December 15, 1950, when this criminal case was started.
Wow, I'm just trying to process that she's been, that my great-grandma has just been arrested.
You can see here.
Oh, wow. That's a fingerprint. Incredible to see that.
It was made after her arrest.
I mean, what's she been arrested for?
On March 5, 1951, there was a court hearing in Veronica's case.
OK, so of the 5th of March 1951, it's the case against Veronica, according to the Criminal Code 5810.
Article 58, Section 10, was on political crimes, meaning anti-Soviet propaganda and agitation.
OK.
She was interrogated about anti-Soviet statements.
So she's been arrested for an anti-Soviet statement?
Yes.
Oh, OK.
To say something anti-Soviet was a crime under Soviet rule, especially in Stalin's time. In 1951, people could be sentenced just for example, telling jokes about Soviet leaders or criticizing Soviet system.
So basically, anyone that said anything negative
Yeah.
towards the Soviet Union,
Yeah.
they could be arrested.
It was
for
propaganda
Yeah.
against the Soviet Union.
that. Yeah. So did my great-grandmother plead guilty or not guilty to this case?
No, she pled not guilty.
Okay.
It shows that she was quite brave woman, because in most cases people pled guilty due to pressure from investigators, due to torture and so on. Here is her testimony.
So this is her testimony in court?
Yes.
Okay. It was only a political conversation. I approached the table where the witnesses were seated. At that point, I had something to drink, so presuming that it was an alcoholic drink. I didn't say anything critical about the Soviet government. I did not criticize communism. So she's explaining that she didn't do anything wrong. So what was the outcome?
Yes, the outcome was here. It is judgment of the court. And here we have a translation.
Oh, my God. Okay. So having reviewed the case of the accused, we find that the accused, Aika, expressed anti-Soviet statements in a public place and at the same time telling lies about the leaders of the Soviet state. The highest court rules to convict the accused. Wow. I mean, that is...
Here is her sentence.
Veronica, according to 5810P1 of the Criminal Code, is imprisoned in a corrective labour camp for 8 years. 8 years. This judgment is final and there's no opportunity for appeal.
Yes. It was very harsh sentence, really.
I mean, she's having a conversation in the bar and that has basically cost her 8 years of her life.
Yes.
That is just brutal. Absolutely. Can't believe it. So I need to find out now what happened in the prison, what happened when she came out today.
This will be the next step of your investigation, really.
Yeah. My great-grandmother had such a difficult time. She really did.
Yes.
Yeah, the
Those
story...
were tough times and...
Really tough time for her.
And very difficult for many people who become victims for nothing, really.
Yeah.
To find out what happened to his great-grandmother Veronica after she was sentenced, Olly is going to the former headquarters of the KGB in Latvia, where she was interrogated. The building is now a museum, where Olly's meeting historian Genst Appels.
Ginz, obviously, I know that my great-grandmother Veronica was sent to prison, so I'm just trying to find more information about that.
So that was from the Soviet Ministry of State Security, the predecessor of the KGB, concerning imprisonment of your great-grandmother. And here you have translation.
Okay. Obviously, she's been sentenced to 8 years at a labour camp. And there's the address here, isn't it?
Yes, indeed. Conditions were surely horrible because food was insufficient and they had to perform hard labor on daily basis. So many people did not survive that imprisonment.
Under Stalin, millions of people were sent to Soviet labor camps. Prisoners, like Olly's great-grandmother Veronica, were forced into hard labor, often in extreme temperatures. Over 1 million people died of exhaustion, starvation, or disease. A key part of Stalin's reign of terror, the number of camps reduced after his death in 1953.
Initially, your great-grandmother was imprisoned in a forced labor prison camp under harsh conditions for 2 years. But in 1953, she was transferred to a different place, to the Molotov Oblast in Russian Federation.
In Russia?
Yes.
Okay, well, let's have a look at this then. So she was convicted in 1951. But in 1956, on the 29th of April, a commission decision was taken to release her from imprisonment in Molotov Oblast colony, where they closed the colony. So she was released in 1956, so she survived.
Yes, she did, and she was lucky to survive.
Amazing. So she was supposed to stay for 8 years, but was fortunate to come out after 5, which is great.
Yes, indeed. But I also wanted to introduce another document to you.
Okay.
Yeah? Because after returning to Latvia in 1956, she started looking for somebody.
So when she came out of prison, she went back to Latvia,
she came back.
Well, I can see the name straight away. Edward Muro Jankowski. And I can see my granddad's date of birth there, 1932. So what is this?
There is also a short translation.
Ah, so it's relatives looking and waiting for you in the homeland. So this is this from Veronica? This is from my great-grandmother. Yes. So she's trying to find...
Indeed.
Her son, Edward Murs Jankowski, is born the 28th of January 1932 and is being searched for by Aika Veronica.
Basically, she published an advert in 1957 in a newspaper. And this is not the only example. We know that your great-grandmother continued publishing such adverts. Newspapers published in the West, and also she was trying to approach the International Red Cross, looking for her lost son.
Wow, she really was trying to find her son, yeah.
She did her best. And right after returning from imprisonment.
My granddad felt abandoned as a child and felt that his mum didn't love him. But this looks like she really cared. After such a horrific 5 years being in prison, she was trying to find her son. I was wondering when she'd passed and when she died.
Well, that is her death certificate.
Oh. Okay, so I can see the date. So she died in 1988?
Yes, in 1988.
And do you know where she's buried?
Yes, we managed to find this information, and she was buried in Jaunsiema cemetery, which is in the vicinity of Riga. But she was buried in section 13. Basically, she was buried by the state because she did not have any relatives left.
Ah, that's very sad.
Yeah.
So she had no family here.
No.
I mean, you know, when you're on a journey like this, you feel like you get to know someone just a little bit, and knowing that she died with no one there, that's really sad. Today was an emotional day for me. I feel that there was a lot of information to take in, things I didn't expect. And to hear that my great-grandmother died in 1988 with no family around her, it really saddens me. She had a son, she had grandchildren, and she had great-grandchildren at the time of her death. It's just a shame that none of us could have been there for her at that point.
Olly is travelling to the outskirts of Riga, to the cemetery where his great-grandmother Veronica is buried.
I feel like it's been a crazy few days. But to go and visit my great-grandmother's grave today is, yeah, I suppose there's part of me that's sort of looking forward to being close to her. But I never thought I'd feel like that. One of the biggest things my dad asked me was he would like to know where she was buried. So the fact that we're heading there now, it's a really special moment for me.
With no family to pay for her funeral, Olly's great-grandmother Veronica was buried in an unmarked grave.
So where I am now is Area 13. this is the area that she was buried in. Fortunately, she doesn't have a plaque or a stone. But it gives me some peace because it is a beautiful area, it really is. It's a beautiful cemetery. Bless my great-grandmother. She had such sad moments in her life. Yeah. I hope that she's at peace now. And I'm happy that I'm able to give my dad some answers on her life. That's the key thing.
All right, Ollie?
You all right, Dad? You okay?
Too bad. How'd you get on?
Well, it's been one hell of a journey, Dad, let me tell you. I've found out so much stuff. Currently, right now, I'm actually stood where my great-grandmother, your grandmother, Veronica, was buried.
Oh, right. So you are. Wow. It's very emotional because I know my dad would love to have found her grave. Probably said sorry, but not answering those letters.
Don't get emotional. You make me go. Yeah, well, you know, he had his reasons, Dad, you know.
It's sad.
But we can go and visit Grandad's grave and say, look, we found her, you know?
Yeah. Yeah.
And we can always come and visit this as a family.
Yeah, brilliant. Thank you, Oliver. Fantastic. I just can't wait to see it all. I just can't wait to see what information you found.
All right, well, I love you loads.
Yeah, I love you too, and I'll see you when you get back. Bye.
Bye. Wow, that was... I've never seen my dad cry, actually. It was, yeah, it was quite emotional to see him cry and get upset. I think, don't know, just seeing him emotional is, I feel like I've done something really special for him and the family. I'm just really happy. I'm happy that I've been able to do this, and you know, I've been able to kind of find that peace for him, so that's nice. When I started this trip, I barely knew anything about my family. I feel like it's taken me on a journey that I never expected. I feel like me and my dad, our relationship will change after this. There's something deeper now. And my dad can come back here and like me, feel connected to Latvia and feel like it's part of us. I feel part of Latvia now. I feel really connected to my family more than I ever have been, really. I've learned so much about my family history, how and why it shaped me to the person that I am today. You know, I feel really proud to be a Murs.